I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home and Design Magazine here at the Charleston Home and Design Show on Daniel Island, and now we're talking with Zach Faulkner with Smart Vent Foundation Flood Vents. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing pretty good, Tim. How about you?
Good. Zach, tell everybody about Smart Vent Foundation Flood Vents.
All right, well, we are a line of ICCES certified engineered flood vents, and ICCES is the International Code Council's actual evaluation service. So that just means that our vents have actually been performance tested in flood-like scenarios and are proven to equalize hydrostatic pressure.
And what is a foundation flood vent?
It is a vent that if you live in an enclosed, or if you live in a floodplain, any enclosed area below your base flood elevation, you're required by building code to have some sort of vents. Our vents are, again, engineered flood vents versus a typical non-engineered opening like an air vent. And I've actually have that here if I can grab it real quick. So you can either use an engineered opening like ours, or you can use what FEMA classifies as a non-engineered opening. And what a non-engineered opening basically is just an air vent. I've got two different examples here. The issue with these is a lot of them have these little top slider pieces on them, I call them. That has to be removed during a flood because FEMA says that flood water could actually cause these to shut and then they're useless. Same thing on this metal one here. It's got the top slider piece. The biggest issue is on the back of all of these non-engineered openings or air vents that are used as flood vents. They have a mesh screen, and during a flood there's debris, right? Water ripping down the street's going to pick up any and everything in its path. Debris gets clogged up on these air vents and then they're useless. The whole reason that you have to have vents per building code on those enclosed areas is to prevent that hydrostatic water buildup, and these mesh screens get clogged up. Whereas our vent, and I can show you here on our test tank that we have, our vent actually opens up automatically with flood water. So this, I don't know if you can see, this little piece here, this float, sits inside of the slits right here on our vent, okay? What happens is these little nubs on the side, they sit down in a little groove, and they're holding this gate shut so animals can't crawl inside. All right, you can bang on it all day, you're not getting in there. What happens during a flood, now this side of the tank, and I can probably do this for you, make it easier. This side of the tank is going to simulate the outside of the home. This is going to be inside of your crawl space or any enclosed area, and then you'll have vents on the other side to let that water and debris get fully out. Now most people say, well, we don't want the stuff in there to get wet. Well, you're required by code to have vents on those enclosed spaces, so better the stuff inside of there. Hopefully it's just, old golf clubs or something like that. But hopefully your stuff, you'd rather have your foundation be safe, than have a little bit of stuff in your garage get wet during a flood, okay? So you actually want these vents to open up like ours do, and I'll show you the demo right here. So again, this is going to be the outside of the home. This is going to be the inside of the crawl space, and I'll show you right here. So rising flood waters here. This water level difference right here is bad. That's the hydrostatic pressure buildup. But our vents actually open up, which you'll see here in just a second, right there, automatically equalizing that water line, therefore taking the pressure off your foundation and equalizing that hydrostatic pressure. And our vents are actually bidirectional, so no matter what side that water is coming from, the vent can swing and hinge and open up either way. And to be ICC certified, you have to be able to pass a 3-inch sphere through your opening. And we have the little balls in there just to simulate that underneath the vent here, and of course, other side as well.
What happens if people have the air vents instead of a smart vent foundation flood vent, and you have that wall of water that's hitting a home's foundation? Is the foundation going to give way?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, you saw a lot of foundations get blown out. I don't know about here, but I know in Colombia, we have tons of pictures from Colombia from people just having typical air vents or non-engineered openings on their foundations, and during that flood, they get jammed up with that debris, and that, like for example on this, that water level would rise, keep rising, and underneath that crawl space there would be no water for that pressure to equalize. So all that pressure over time causes it to weaken, crack, potentially, yes, get blown out.
Gotcha. So that's why by code a home is required to have foundation flood vents if you live in a if you're paying for flood insurance, then you live in a floodplain.
Exactly, yes. The only people who don't have to pay flood insurance are people who own their home outright and don't have a mortgage. And some of them are thinking that they're being smart and not paying for flood insurance. But Mother Nature does whatever she wants, and if you're in a floodplain, you need to have flood insurance. And sometimes it can get expensive, but we do have a program to help people lower their flood insurance, which is our FRE, our Flood Risk Evaluator program. And what that is a service, again, to help homeowners lower their flood insurance. If you can, homeowners can send us a copy of their elevation certificate. We have certified floodplain managers on staff who can actually analyze that elevation certificate. And we have a report called our FRE report that can show a homeowner any and every single possible scenario for them to lower their flood insurance. And we actually now own our own insurance company. So not only can we show them everything that they can do to lower their insurance, we can show them exactly how much their premium is going to reduce and then exactly what their new premium is going to be before they actually do any of the mitigation. And we're not trying to steal their flood insurance policy. We're trying to get it to a low, low number because unfortunately a lot of people are getting ripped off and a lot of people's homes aren't compliant, which means that their structure of their home isn't safe. And with our FRE program, we can tell them everything that they can do to make their home more safe, therefore more compliant, and also lower their flood insurance premiums to the lowest possible number.
Well, the cost of flood insurance is beginning to rise, and people are going to be faced with some sticker shock. They may have paid, for flood insurance in the hundreds and maybe even a couple $1,000s, and now they're getting hit with quotes of $7,000, $24,000 or more a year just for flood insurance. And so, if homeowners contact Smart Vent Foundation Flood Vents and they go through the Flood Risk Evaluator, you can show them how to lower the cost of their flood insurance.
Correct. And we actually have started to charge for this service, but if you get your elevation certificate into us at ec@yourfloodrisk.com, that's just the letters ec@yourfloodrisk.com by May 31st, mention that you came to the show here, hopefully you did, and send that EC in, that elevation certificate into us by May 31st. We'll do it for free for you. Take us about a day or two to get you that full report, but if there is something that you can do to lower your flood insurance, we can find it, and we're doing it for free. So if you're paying flood insurance and you don't send in the elevation certificate to us, to me, you're crazy. We can show you how to get it to that lowest possible number for free, and it's kind of like a why not try it out thing.
All right, good deal. Well, we have been talking with Zach Faulkner with Smart Vent Foundation Flood Vents. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it.